Hi, I'm Brendan Fehr.
And I'm Majandra Delfino. A decade or two ago,
Closer to 3, really.
a while back, we starred in the cult hit WB show Roswell.
And while we are in fact ex-co-stars, we are also actual exes. In real life.
Boyfriend and girlfriend exes.
Unnecessary clarification. But welcome to the X-Files, where we analyze all things Roswell. Episodes, co-stars, guest stars, and all the goings-on in front of the camera and behind the scenes.
In our probe, we may or may not agree, we may or may not get along, but if our history is any indication, we will most certainly dig up old stuff from the past and throw down. With guests, old and new, weighing in on who was right and who was wrong.
Oh, if we remember it, we're going to talk about it.
And if we don't remember, it's all good, because I kept my teenage diary to cross-reference, corroborate, confirm.
Wait, what?
Correct. So be prepared to pick a side.
Your actual diary, like, for real.
Having a change of heart?
More like a change of underwear.
Welcome
To the X-Files. Well, happy holidays.
Oh, happy holidays to you.
Is it happy holidays?
Let's see, you know.
This episode,
Mm.
A Roswell Christmas Carol. It's no finger in a pear tree.
No, but what is?
Exactly.
Yeah,
The sequel to that is Two Fingers in a Pear Tree.
yeah.
Just watched it.
Me too.
Let's we'll just get right into the breakdown of it quickly here.
Yes.
Roswell Christmas Carol, original air date December 18th, 2000, written by Jason Katims, directed by Patrick Norris. So, again, another classic by Norris. Desmond Askew. Can I ask you how to say Askew?
And
Ask.
I'm glad you asked. It's askew.
It's Askew. John Littlefield. Garrett Brown is dad. Mary Ellen Trainor. Diane Farr. We got some good stuff going on here. It's Christmas time in Roswell with Isabel running everything. Meanwhile, Max fails to heal an accident victim and finds himself haunted by his ghost. Christmas episodes for television shows are usually dog shit, I think. There's two things that I've always maintained.
Dog shit.
There's two things I've always maintained. Never marry your characters. It's the kiss of death. And Christmas episodes are awful idea. And this surprised me because I felt it was one of the best episodes we got in the whole 61 episode catalog of Roswell. I think it's really well done.
It really is.
Did you like it?
I loved it. I remember it so well. This is one of the episodes that I remember. There are some, full disclosure, that I'm like, what? And this is one that I just remember every aspect of it. And now are we going to talk about it and you'll probably mention something that I don't remember? Probably. But if you ask me, if you were to ask me, I would say yes. Very confident.
I remember this one too. I remember, for whatever reason, I remember what I was wearing. I remember the wardrobe choices. By the way, your coat is glorious.
I just want to say that people might not know this. So much of Maria's stuff was pulled from the Paramount wardrobe warehouse, like that stuff that's been in other things. And they just did such a good job. I mean, they had such great stuff that they would pull for her.
Truly.
Really. It was supposed to be like she was vintage shopping type, and they nailed it. I mean, nailed it.
There's so many great things about this episode. And this is when our show really took off. And it's the relationships, right? Obviously, there's the sci-fi stuff of Max, healing the children and not healing, and that decision to possibly expose ourselves. So that with the underbelly, but all these relationships, like the Valentes and Tess are gold.
Oh,
They
so great.
they're so enjoyable to watch that, I know you have to have your drama and your high stakes, but to take a little bit of a break and to give those actors, Bill, Nick, and Emily, the opportunity to do something like that. Bill freaking out when when Amy is going to come and getting dressed is just brilliant. You can see this comedic side of him, and everything was enjoyable. Isabel, Katie, excels at her role with the Christmas Nazi. Speaking of, would we be allowed nowadays to
No
say
way.
that?
Although I did say my first note was when you guys are looking for the tree and you're looking at the diagram of what kind of tree to get. And he calls her, she's called the Christmas Nazi. Michael is like, you can't give in to her, like you need to fight. And I was like, love this. I love our just Jewish ally,
Exactly. I also
Fehr.
I also we'll save it for another thing. But I do say Mom Fehr and all hail the Christmas Nazi. And it's not. Yeah, I don't know if we'd be allowed. I don't know if people would write. I mean, you have to be allowed to say that, right? Or no? Are we wrong? Am I wrong on this? Do I not know?
You're not allowed to say it anymore.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay. But is it offensive to watch now, though?
That's
I don't think anyone's.
wonder.
I don't think anyone's would be offended by watching this.
Well, who knows? We'd have to ask them.
I mean, listen, someone's always going to be offended.
I am neither German nor Jewish, so I'm not quite sure, but
right.
Would love to know.
Yeah. Leave it in the comments. I love. There's so many things. Michael making the hard decisions, saying right off the bat, sees this dead man, and he's like, Maxwell, let's go. He was the one alien who was making these tough decisions. He was like the old crusty stalwart in there, saying right off the bat, sees this dead man, and he's like, Maxwell, let's go. He was the one alien who was making these tough decisions. He was like the old crusty stalwart in there, living on the planet, doing something, living as a human, right? Helping people, doing that, but then not being able to do certain things because of the secrets they have. And then what the tension that brings, obviously Max is in a bit of a crisis over that the entire episode. So it just adds so many layers to it. And I thought this was just so well done.
I thought there was something so interesting as far as it's almost like the concept of religion. It struck me watching this for whatever reason that they live so much for this alleged other life that they're eventually going to live in their home planet.
Antar
sounds scary. But anyway, the point is, I don't know if I want to go to there. But so much of their lives is run by this promise of this next life. It has almost a heaven quality to it. And what if it's not even available anymore, Antar? And they didn't just kind of stop and live their teenage real lives. They're so invested in the concept of the other one.
Right. Yeah, that is interesting. But there's also, I think, the fear of they can't fully embrace Earth because any kind of exposure, anything finds out their secret, they're going to be hunted and, killed and probed and experimented on. So I think that constant, fear that they lived with probably is that preventative thing that says it would be, I need a safe space.
And it's also, it's that just shows how deep the human need to belong is. that you're like, I can only assimilate so much down here with these normies. I mean, truly, if someone said to me there was a planet with people more my vibe, I'd be like, all
What would
in.
that look like? What would that planet look like, I wonder?
Definitely a 12-hour sleep every night. There'd be a lot of bed work, a lot of beds. A lot of working from the bed.
That's
I immediately just imagine Care-a-Lot, like where the Care Bears live on the clouds.
right. 100%. I believe in this episode, I remember when I said I remembered the wardrobe, I remembered my my jean shirt at the very end when I give you the bumper. And then that's not good enough. The old...
What a cunt.
The old...
cunt.
Ungrateful for everything. Only says she doesn't need a present when she finally gets one she actually likes. The whole thing kind of just reeked of, I don't know.
I want you to know, I wrote, if that was my friend, don't know we'd be friends anymore. If I saw my friend behave that way with her boyfriend and be that into the gifts and have that heel turn of, oh, never mind, I didn't even really want a gift or whatever, I would be like, let's go on betterhealth.com and get you a therapist because this is bananas. And then I also did write that I loved Michael's style of gift giving. Practical, the toothbrush. Remember the Pert Plus? I don't think we said
2-in-1 shampoo.
2-in-1 shampoo. But that is an age. That is a type of behavior reserved for teens where you're like, he better know.
And the bumper's fucking expensive. I mean, I know we got it from the thing, but to read, that's like, because to go to a body shop, that's going to cost you hundreds of dollars.
That's the thing. Someone needs to tell these teens, when you grow up, all you're going to care about in your significant other is things like, can they change the bumper?
100%. I get a lot of grief on this podcast. I don't know what your diary says. I don't know if you have any date thing for this episode. Hold on. I believe we were fighting. I recall shooting that scene with the bumper and then the pearl earrings, and we were not getting along.
This diary entry is a doozy because someone else is slammed.
Oh.
But it's also a doozy because no mention of you, which I think is an indication of just like, Brendan who? Don't know him.
Exactly. Out of sight, out of mind. Fuck that guy. I'm not writing. He doesn't even belong in this.
You know what? I don't even care about him enough to write about him like that. So this is what it says, and we'll have to beep it out, but I'm going to read it to you.
She just writes my name backwards. It's like, instead of Brendan, what would it be backwards? Nanreb? Nadreb. No.
Nadreb.
I got to write this down.
We got to write this down. Hold on. Hold on. Brendan. Nandnerb. Old Nandnerb tried to talk to me again.
Old Nadnerb.
Nadnerb. Wow.
Yeah, when she's mad, that's what she refers to me as.
Let me tell you what I wrote, though, because it's great. We're going to have to beep out the name.
Okay.
Everybody brace yourselves. It says, is coming hard at me. Now, that doesn't sound right, but I think what I meant.
We need to bleep that. We need to bleep that whole thing out.
But this is how I wrote it. It says, is coming hard at me. He's so creepy. This is what I wrote. It says, he's coming hard at me. He's so creepy, but man, that brain. I think I need to change my makeup. This is the shift. This is how much I gave him thought. I think I need to change my makeup. It's too much. I think I have a tapeworm. Okay, I think I need to change my makeup. It's too much. I think I have a tapeworm. I had 4 cheesy gordita crunches. That's it. That's it.
Okay, so this checks because coming hard at you would mean that we were probably not getting along, and he sees an opportunity, and maybe he's trying to find a little wiggle room. He sees the cracks in the relationship, and he's trying to weasel his way in there.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe? Yeah.
This gentleman that we speak of was full Svengali. And yeah, I mean, he was probably always trying to weasel his way in, but it's interesting that my brain was even like paying attention. I think at this point, my brain went, maybe it's better to just distract myself with this bozo instead of Nadnerb. So, ketchup chip Nadnerb.
Casey Nadnerb. So, I get a lot of grief on this, having this older woman syndrome of the greetings from the past episodes, kissing women on the lips. Courtney.
When he says that, he means that he would have older
having
women.
The Courtney episode of the kiss lasting too long, et cetera, et cetera.
Wait, what?
When we talked about the Courtney episode with Zoe.
That the kiss lasted too long?
Yeah, or I was too into it.
Yes, you were definitely
just Michael always getting both Michael and Brendan finding themselves in these precarious situations.
Mm-hmm.
Desmond, you have a little crush on, even though you feel bad, there's a little kind of got a wandering eye yourself there, Miss Maria. Right? Maybe?
Yeah,
Want to marry him?
I mean, I know, you're right. Maria and Michael were fine.
Yeah. There wasn't really a lot for them to, it was just the present aspect of it, the stress of the holidays, which, I could see that, but everything else seemed to be tracking, and you're thinking of going off to marry another man.
It was horrible. I said, Maria Delulu, ? Like, delusional. What is this thing? That she's going to marry this man and take care of his child, and she's like crying? Like, are we okay? Christmas brings up a lot for people.
It does. It's an emotional time of year.
It comes out in weird ways, and clearly this was it, because I was flabbergasted with that.
I just want to put it out there that, specking my eye log in yours.
Sprecken's a what?
I said speck in my eye, a log in yours.
What the fuck is that mean? What is
the
this?
The biblical thing.
Oh, well, of course I'm not going to know that.
Don't worry about this. Well, now I've lost it, but everyone knows what I mean. Don't throw rocks in your teeth. In
an eye, unless you want to get another eye.
Don't throw sticks and stones will break my bones.
Oh.
Yeah, he just loses it. No.
Oh, it wasn't that though. Okay, I was like, oh, that's interesting that's what that means.
No. Don't throw rocks and glass houses.
It's the pot calling the kettle black kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. We hit all the things before we got to the right one.
We got everything.
It's interesting because they do say that for girls. Sorry, I just saw a seagull out my window take a huge dump from the air. Bravo. Damn. I mean, wow.
And then he went higher immediately.
But no, what I was going to say is I really feel, especially when women are younger, young ladies tend to feel a lot like it's more convenient to stay in a relationship than to break up. And so they'll like stay in a relationship forever, even though they're kind of done. And then they don't break up until they're like done. So I wonder if that's what Maria was doing, I
think that goes for men as well, just because the finality of any relationship is just tough, right? So,
I mean, I'm not talking marriage. I'm talking like dating. A girl will not want to be single for things coming up, like Thanksgiving and Valentine, whatever. It's the funniest thing. They're like, oh, but I have Sam's party in 2 weeks. Oh, okay. Well, like,
the dance is coming up.
Yeah,
I don't want to go.
Yeah, I don't want to.
Single.
Exactly. And a guy's like, oh, God, I better break up soon. Valentine's Day.
It's like, there might be some chicks at that dance.
Exactly. I want to show up at that dance solo. You know?
I got to be freewheeling it.
Exactly. And so I feel like that's what Maria was up to. But yeah, I mean, that really threw me for a loop. I remembered the episode, but I remembered it being more rocky between Michael and Maria because why would she want to go off with Brody?
Yeah, this was one. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. There's just so many little joys in the whole thing. Everyone's relationship, it was just so well done. And again, for a Christmas episode, we really knocked it out of the park.
I had clearly some sort of reoccurring cheesy gordita crunch situation going on in Covina. Because every time there was any dropping over there, it seems I report just like stuffing my face with Taco Bell.
I remember when we were shooting in Covina, they gave us a bunch of coupons for In-N-Out, like free, like straight on burgers, fries, combos. And I would just go cash them in and be like, during lunchtime, I'd just drive over there and we'd get freebies. The other thing was the chocolate covered strawberries. Remember that bakery on Covina or that place that did and you know how much I love chocolate covered strawberries.
Yeah, you like them so much.
Yeah, the ones in Covina were just like, I remember like big, luscious strawberries.
Yeah, that I loved Covina so much. It was like our home away from home.
It really was. I remember that drive and it was, yeah.
What a time that was. But yeah, this episode was so sweet. Just one last thing, fun fact. I did not know many Christmas carols. I got sent home with a bunch of options of different Christmas carols to learn because all I knew was, like Hanukkah songs. I am not Jewish. Again, still not Jewish. Never was. Wish I had been, but no.
I know no Hanukkah song.
Oh my God.
Oh, well, besides.
I had a little dreidel. Or what about light the candle?
I've never said I had a little dreidel.
Okay, well.
I have a big dreidel.
Yeah.
What about, oh, man, this is bad. I'm going to butcher this. I might even say old lang syne? Old lang syne?
Sure.
Is that Jewish?
No, that's like Irish.
Oh.
Oh my God. And that's a New Year's song.
That's Irish?
Yeah, it's like some Irish, Scottish.
Well, that fits right in with our guest.
Oh, that's true. We should make him sing it.
we could ask him if he knows it. Okay. Well, in the meantime, we can introduce our guest and ask him what his favorite Christmas memories are, etc., and what he thought of this episode. It's a real episode to have someone to watch for the first time, like a Christmas one in the middle of the entire series run. We'll have to see what he has to say. And there's a connection to this one besides that, which I'm going to talk about, because this is one of my very, very, very good buddies. I've done a number of projects with him. He's done a whole bunch. He's from across the pond. My first introduction to him was The Night Shift. And this is my very, very good friend. I'm not going to go over his entire resume because The Night Shift is the only thing that really matters. He was also on La Brea and whatever else. The Irishman, Owen Macken.
This is a audio medium primarily. As long as we can hear each other, it's fine if Owen is, not moving.
But have you seen how handsome he is?
Yeah, that means he doesn't even have to do anything. He can just...
Well, I mean, you guys both look great, by the way. This is all very professional with your microphones and the whole setup. It's funny, Majandra, I don't know you, but because I listened to a couple of the episodes of this show, I only started listening to podcasts recently, and I don't know if you guys find this, but I find myself listening to the same podcast because you like the interviewers or the people doing the podcast. And I found myself listening to your banter, and I wanted to stop listening because obviously I don't listen to Brendan. But I feel like I actually know you even though I've never met you before. And then I'm like, oh, this is interesting.
Oh, so well, there you go. Thank you.
That's my observation.
Thank you for listening, Owen. I agree. There's too much Brendan.
Yeah, I think you're cutting out again, bud. I think we're going to have to get rid of you and kick you off.
Oh boy.
That's the best joke you made so far.
Thank
on the
you.
You made a
podcast.
little joke.
Oh, look at how proud. Give me a thumbs up on a, on a text or an emoji. We were talking about thumbs up. Speaking of, let's a little off topic. If you text me, or if I text you and I say, "Oh shit, on my way, we'll be there in 15." What emoji are you going to put on that text?
Like the reaction thing. You know how you can react like thumbs up, thumbs down, exclamation, heart.
Probably a heart.
Fucking Europeans.
Okay, it's
What?
because we're European.
It's just a thumbs up. Why would you
people feel the
love
thumbs
that?
up is patronizing. It's passive aggressive.
And if I send you a text
Yeah.
that I love you, then what are you going to do?
Oh my God. So
I'd be like, yeah, I'd be like, I love you. too.
Brendan is saying that to put a heart, to heart it, is to spit in the face of love, essentially. It's to water down
A
true
heart
love.
emoji.
Man, you really overthought this, B. I think also like you might need it like a hug, because if it's like your friend, like just saying I love you to your friend, you'd be like a normal thing. And if you say like a heart, like what else is the heart there for apart from what the one occasion you want to say I love you, therefore you heart
I would heart-
something? It's literally just
I would heart this conversation because you said I need a hug, and I think that's super sweet. But if you tell me you're arriving
Yeah.
in 15 minutes, don't fucking heart that. That's a thumbs up.
But no, but okay, when you say love that to something, if someone's like, hey, I'm going to be a little late, or no, hey, I'm going to be a little early, late, no one loves that. You go, oh, okay, love that. Is that watering down the depths of love?
That's LUV.
Oh, boy.
Oh, so now you're gonna get pedantic over semantics for grammar after you're the one who's being weird about
That almost
flow.
sounded
You
like a
maybe
rap.
should
That
look
almost
at the
sounded like a
heart.
rap song. Pedantic over or I was like, is this Eminem?
Pedantics over semantics.
He does have a new album coming out apparently. But what's wrong with just with loving it? Is actually I even did that to my buddy the other day. He was coming over for a barbecue, and he said we'll be there after 5:30. And I do remember love hearting it because he love hearts stuff that I say, and he's like a really normal guy. He surfs. He's not like weird.
Yeah, maybe
And I don't know why surfing makes him normal for some reason, but in this context,
it
it does.
normalizes them. Maybe look at the love as LUV, the heart.
I'm not doing
Look at it
Yeah.
as an LUV.
You guys aren't going to bully me into this. I already see where this is going. I'm not
Look,
I'm not getting bullied.
I did read about this, Majandra. Is this about the thing that because if people do the thumbs up, it's seen as being passive aggressive?
Yes, and I was
or
just going to
something,
say,
and that's
this is
something
your
that breaks them off
birthright.
ends?
You're a Canadian. You are expected to be passive aggressive, so you're fine. But do know that might upset people. That's all.
But Brendan's passive aggressive in general, or just aggressive.
Brendan is the worst Canadian because he's not passive aggressive and he's not polite. You're not the most
I listened
polite.
to your previous podcast, and I listened to one with Gabe. I think you spoke about how Brendan knew to apologize to loads of people. I was like, that makes sense. But you were talking about how you wish that he wasn't so blunt, but then if he wasn't so blunt, his bluntness was also made him charming. But at the same time, it also made him very difficult to be around as a person.
It's difficult for so many people because they don't understand that the bluntness isn't coming from like a mean thing. But I
Fuck
will
you.
say I had never... I had never...
See, I would love heart that.
I would love heart that too. I had never... Oh, and I'd never met a Canadian before Brendan. And I will say, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to love Canadians because they're so blunt, so straightforward. And then I got there, I was like, oh.
Whoa, I set my country
love
up for
them.
fail.
No, it was. I was like, oh my goodness, no one's telling me what they really think. A lot of apologies.
How are you doing, buddy?
Yeah, it's true.
I mean, you look beautiful, but what did you do last night?
Oh, so I have an outrageously bad hangover. And I woke up on the couch, and about 15 minutes ago, I was like, this is really hard. And I was like, should I have a shower? And I was like, it's okay. It's not being filmed. It's not a video thing. And then I remember you did talk about videoing it, but you're videoing it, but without putting it out. And I was like, all right, so should I have a shower? And then I was like, I'm so hungover. I haven't had any breakfast or lunch because I don't think I can eat anything because I might die.
Interesting.
So
What do your hangovers feel like, Owen? How does it show up for you?
Whereby my entire body is in pain and I just want to go to sleep, but I can't sleep. And my head is sore and everything just feels really difficult. And something arrived, a box, we're getting so many boxes. Some box arrived, and I tried to lift it up, and I was like, I just left it on the fucking outside. I was like, I can't do this today. And it's just a small Amazon box. It was too heavy for me. That's how my hangover feels.
Yeah. Damn.
What a fucking nightmare. But let's get into it while we're doing this. Did you watch the episode?
Of course I watched it.
You
Yeah,
did?
it's really fun. I'm sort of shocked how I never watched it. I was like, this is great. I think we just watched 3 episodes. I just kept watching it. I have many questions. So did you guys shoot that on film?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Because it's very interesting because it looks so pretty and it looks like, every like 90s rom-com ever. And I was like, is this about aliens or is this a rom-com? I couldn't quite figure it out.
I think that's a great question.
Yeah.
How did you guys feel about the show? Were you making an alien show or were you making a Meg Ryan 90s comedy every episode?
This is wild because we did 3 seasons and we had different showrunners, and the whole balancing act, the whole knife's edge was, I won't go rom-com, but the whole knife's edge was sci-fi versus relationships. And you would get network notes going back and forth of too much relationship stuff. We need more sci-fi. And then too much sci-fi, more relationship stuff. And then when we found that nice balance, that's when these shows work the best.
And then once you found the balance, they canceled the show.
Pretty much.
It would go back and forth, right? They would then seesaw one way and we're like, oh no, right the ship, runway, and the other way. And then you only were in that middle part because it kept doing this. You know what I mean? Where it's getting noted to death, I probably believe, you know what I mean? From the networks.
Are you there? Are you frozen?
No, he's blinking.
I'm still here.
Yeah. Well, Brendan, where are you? Oh, okay, there you are.
I'm on Antar. And we had mentioned, I hate Christmas episodes. Like specific episodes of TV shows. I think they're a disaster. And I thought this was great.
I agree with that. I actually, when you sent me a Christmas episode, my first thought was,
Oh
fuck
no.
you. Yeah, I was like, fuck you. And because you said some nonsense about, we like to send episodes that relate or that people will like or some shit. And I was like, I don't know why. Because that felt very passive aggressive. And I was like, why you send me this? But actually, as Christmas episodes go, I was like, it was actually really cute and fun. I was like, I dig it.
It was. You also know why I sent this to you?
No.
Because you wear scrubs?
There's 2 reasons. I think elves are leprechauns at Christmas time.
Yeah.
Irish.
Have you heard this before?
No.
I just
Okay,
came
me
up with
either.
that. That's not really the reason. The reason I came up with it is, it's almost Christmas time, and that's going to be fun. And you're a big fan of Christmas. You're actually you are a Christmas guy, right? With your family, if I recall.
So two things. One, who's a Christmas guy? I celebrate Christmas like a normal person. And secondly, it's not Christmas. It's literally October. So,
But when this
When
is
you
going to
said
air,
that-
it's Christmas time.
No, when this is going to air. Yeah, I know. I had the same confusion where I was like, what?
wow.
I'm playing.
Majandra, do you have to do this every podcast? This guy.
No,
So,
but he, Brendan.
you just broke the fourth
he
wall.
He is
Thanks.
right. He is right. I was like, oh, he's right. We will air this, close to Christmas.
Okay.
I hate when he's right too. Ugh.
She hates it.
But
Okay.
But the other thing was, when Max is healing all the kids, and we got to go into this hospital. It's my first foray into a hospital drama, and we did night shift together. And I thought the slicked back hair that they all of a sudden did me in was a real doctor move. That is 100% gonna sell me as a doctor. Let's just slick back this hair like some.
You are obsessed with your hair. In the
He's
podcast with
obsessed.
Gabe, you talked about your hair.
No, you don't know this? Oh, because you didn't have hair on night shift.
I shaved my
Yeah,
head.
you didn't have hair in
He's
night shift.
obsessed with his hair.
That's why it was so
Yeah.
pleasurable to work with.
He almost never worked in Hollywood again because he's had such shit fits about his
But
hair.
they also slicked back Max's hair, and it's like, this is not what makes a doctor. Like, I could have been a doctor with the same hair, but we're like, hey, let's switch this up.
But wait, Brendan, you weren't a doctor. You were in there pretending to be a doctor. And by the way, it's a really weird he's on scene where it's like you guys kind of a bit creepy where you're like breaking into like a kid's room, you're locking the door.
And
I was
sweating on top of them while touching them, like, yeah, it was really. But what I love is when you had the slick back hair, meaning when you like enter the scene where it's like, oh, there's Michael, it felt like a porn.
Yeah, I actually, that actually, now you said it, I can actually see that.
It had a porn setup vibe.
Yeah. To be fair, though, a lot of your show has a kind of a soft porny vibe.
Yeah, like the setup, the lead up.
Yeah, you're all very pretty. You're all like
Everyone's
very
frozen
young.
now.
And
What
everyone's
the-
pouting for a lot of your
Yes.
scenes.
Yes.
There's a lot of pouting going on. And you all look great. But there is moments where like, this could go one of two ways.
Yeah.
Maybe
like,
4 ways.
I'm here to get my gift. Yeah, 4 ways.
Four
Or 4
ways.
ways or 3 ways.
I mean, listen, let's not shame people.
Yeah, let's not kink shame.
What is
I did also say listen, I don't know if this is controversial, not a one child that was going through chemo. I mean, so much hair.
That's true. Yeah.
and no one in like a plastic tent, right? Like you can't touch kids with like don't they have them like tented off?
I don't know about this.
No, who puts kids in plastic
Yeah,
tents?
what is this?
Well,
What
because
is
when they're
this?
going
Is this
through,
Canadian?
you don't want any. It reduces their immunity, and so you got to keep them protected.
Boy in a bubble.
I don't know.
You know, you did a medical show with me for 4 years, and we never had any kid in a plastic tent.
We hated kids.
Guys, that's why. That's why.
Right. I mean, yes, for sure. We wanted them all. Yeah, but yeah, okay. All right. Okay, it's hard to follow that.
Yeah, that's tough. I don't know that they're all in plastic tents.
I don't think any kid's ever in a plastic tent.
Yeah.
Do you have an image of a kid in a plastic tent? Like in your mind, or can you find one on Google? Because I don't know if this is a real thing.
That doesn't involve Jake Gyllenhaal.
Maybe it does.
You know what I mean?
Maybe
Yeah,
that's the
well,
porn. Maybe that's my
You
porn.
send us E.T. You know when they put him in like the black. We're like, oh, that's not a kid. That's an alien. Oh boy.
100%. Yeah. But okay, Owen, speaking of Christmas, I sent it to you because, but you are a fan of Christmas, aren't you?
Well, yeah. I mean, I do Christmas. I'm Irish. I love Christmas. Christmas is great.
Yeah.
This feels like you're sort of just like this is the elf/Irish thing, and you're putting this on to Owen.
Do you know, it's funny because I was just texting Jill Flint yesterday, and it was on the night shift with us. And she's had Jill on the show before me, by the way. There will be problems. And she was referring to me as an elf because she's always called me an elf because of my ears.
Mhm.
And she was literally texting me that about my elf ears yesterday. So the fact that you've said that to me is a little bit, it's kind of sort of like bullying.
Yeah, I'm so uncomfortable with this.
Yeah.
Owen
Yeah.
is a model
But
for
because-
Abercrombie
because-
and Finch.
So because I'm having a baby, and Jill said also firstborns tend to look like the father, so I expect elf ears.
What is happening? Okay,
There you go.
I'm confused by the elf thing.
But weren't you just watching Full Elf, it says? Weren't you just watching Lord of the Rings? I think you do this
I
to
was,
yourself.
no.
I
Yeah.
think you do. I think it's micro decisions along the way that you've made that have caused you this, because that's elves. There's elves.
Yeah,
is
I don't
Legolas
have
is
that
Legolas your favorite
deep-
character?
Well, my ears are like genetics and biology. They're not my fault. So that's not like my decision along the way, you know. But I also like, I'm not going to avoid anything with owls in it.
Majandra has recently said she always calls my nose big. And now she said it's
That's true.
markedly different from back in the Roswell days.
Okay,
Well,
first
that's
of
true
all,
because your face just changes as you get older.
It does.
okay, first of all, it's very strange to me to think of elves as Irish, and I get it. I get the leprechaun situation. Is this why? I just think of like elves, Keebler, I'm going to work on that. I'm going to try to make that connect more. Elves and Irish.
Well, no, you are correct. There is no association.
That doesn't
zero.
make a quick.
Yeah. There's no commonality here between elves and leprechauns. This is just Brendan, struggling with how he identifies me.
But you're also getting like that, huh?
Because when I think of elves, I think of like Will Ferrell in the movie Elf, and there was like no one Irish in that movie.
I think of like,
but he's wearing green.
Yeah, because it's Christmas and like
red or green.
Mistletoe is green and red.
And only one person is allowed to wear red, and that's number one on the call sheet, Santa.
Oh.
Interesting.
Okay, good.
I mean, I'm assuming, but
when they wrote your character for Roswell, did they just call your character the character is Brendan Fehr? Because literally the episode you had me watch, you were arguing about a bumper. And it also felt like the most Brendan thing of all time, because the character was like, of course I'll give you a bumper. And at the same time, I was like, that's literally what Brendan would do.
So no credit for acting skills. Copy that. Okay, check.
Well, maybe it's a testament to your wonderful personality that you just want to be filmed.
I think, I will say the reason I identified with him and why I actually think, I'm not going to ask your opinion on this, why I did a good job with him, because I have some issues with my acting, was...
Some issues?
We're going to mute that. We're going to bleep that out like he said a bad name. No, but he was... So I had... you don't know this, but originally they wanted me to audition for Max. And I didn't want that character. I wanted Michael. And Max and Isabel get this really great family that they're adopted by. Michael gets this single father in a trailer who just wants him for the check. So he's got a little bit of a harder upbringing. I had a wonderful upbringing and everything else, but I identified with Michael just in terms of being an outsider of the outsiders. And I never was an outsider, but I like that. And I'll even talk about Night Shift for a little bit. Drew, I actually compared to Michael on this because, we were all Army docs. Not all of us, but we were Army docs, right? And so that's what separated us. And then, I was a fighter, but I was gay. So the Army docs was this specific group, but then I was gay. And so then I was on the outside of that even a little bit. And so they're actually always very similar to me in terms of some sort of something that clicks in my brain. And I don't know what that is because I've never been an outsider, but maybe I want.
Brendan, you are an outsider.
Oh, I am?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're not in.
I'm not in?
You know?
I'm not in.
No.
Oh, no. I'm out.
You're literally about to be kicked off this podcast. It's just me around you. You're out of everything.
Owen and I have
by the way, I would
much
subscribe and like
leading
that
up
podcast.
To this. That would be great. You get the boot. No, but you're not you don't conform a ton, which is, what's lovely, but you sure take a lot of shit for it.
Yeah, it's interesting because you are part of, there is certain sort of rules or ideologies that you adhere to that sort of would imply that you conform, but you actually do the exact opposite, which is a good thing, because I think that mentally and socially and emotionally you don't really conform, and that's what kind of makes you who you are.
Truly.
So going back to the Christmas thing, which you asked me 7 minutes ago before you went.
Brendan's crying.
Yeah.
Just a quivering chin.
I don't cry. I drink.
Just Tito's coming down the eye.
Tito's. It's all. People, I just put cups here to collect the Tito's so I can re-drink it.
2 shot glasses. Yeah.
Collect the Tito's.
What are you drinking, Owen?
Well, I'm having a coffee.
That's a different hour over there,
It's...
Well, yeah, what it is, it's only like an hour. That's like 3:30 for you guys. 3:30 in Mexico.
Yeah.
And 7 in Maine or 5 in Maine.
Like it's 10 p.m. in Maine. No, it's 5. It's 5:28. But yeah, I mean, look, when Brendan decides to do like a no drinking 5 days or whatever, I'm like, ugh, call me when you're done.
Yeah, I know. You're like, please don't text me during that
I'm
period.
like, I'm going to be busy.
I don't like this relationship. I think we should cut this off right now.
What are you talking about?
I know you were truly a person who came into my life who, and I'll actually say this right now in the truest of all terms, who I didn't expect, who means so much to me.
Are you talking about?
Is that it? I thought he was going to give me more. Is that
Yeah,
it?
that's it.
No.
That was
But
his
what I
love.
mean is,
LUV.
you're one of the smartest, kindest people I know, and most creative, and it's a blast fucking like being your pal.
This got much better the more time we gave you, so I appreciate that. Because usually you're not so succinct because you talk for a long time. So when you gave me one line, I was like, well, that feels like an insult. Because like
Yeah.
you literally spent 9 minutes and you talked about like your character when it's having Drew and Night Shift. So I kind of was expecting something.
Well,
more,
that's
more
important too.
verbose.
Yeah,
No,
no, but you have a hard time distilling. By the way, just so you know, and one time we were on the phone
Oh,
and he starts telling me how he's like, I like to think of myself as the distiller. And I'm like, what do you mean? I immediately think of alcohol, of course. I'm like, what are we distilling? He goes
Get
on
those potatoes
for
in
10 He goes on for 10 fucking minutes explaining to me that he is a person who values and feels that he practices the distillation of thoughts into succinct sentences.
Brendan?
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about the same person here?
And he took like a solid fucking 10 minutes to say,
to explain to you how you like distilling information. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
super alarmed by this relationship, just so you guys know. But I will say that's a goal, not a fact.
to
So we'll say
distill,
what your goal is to distill information more or
to be succinct.
Yeah, to be
Yeah, be more
succinct.
succinct.
But I will say, in my defense, I am not efficient with words. But you don't cause me to do more work.
Do I
See,
have-
this
so-
is
so- so-
this is
so
self-sabotage. She's already fucking me over because she knows.
I need
This
I
is
need to
she's
get a charge.
gaslighting me. This is on camera. This is on tape. No, but what
I need to get a charger for my iPad here, and because you're sort of giving your, I probably get the time to go get it.
Yeah, you have like 12 minutes. You can
I
also
was
take
going
a
to say,
shit.
yeah, this is probably the right time while
You're
you
good.
still talk about this case. So if you want to continue, I'll be back in 2 seconds, and you can just keep giving.
Yeah,
give that explanation, and I'll be back by the time you finish.
Okay. And I'm going to. I am efficient in life.
Oh boy.
No? Yes?
I mean, I don't know. I don't see what you do day to day, but I know you value efficiency and you work towards it.
That's all you
Listen,
got.
also, not a relationship. This is just people observing the same thing.
When you say you're efficient in life,
Oh, you weren't listening. You weren't even here.
well, I do have a volume on this, so I can still hear. Anyway. So I'm glad you faced an explanation. You are quite efficient with things.
It's true.
Yeah. That's yeah. Going back to what you said, Brendan, you're one of my dearest friends too. When you came into my life in a very unexpected way, and stayed in my unexpected way, which is great. So I echo this sentiment. You're one of my favorite people, despite your many flaws.
Yeah, to add that. That's fine. That's a thumbs up emoji for me.
There you go.
Oh,
And honestly, by the way, though, guys, going back to this show, I really liked it. Like I didn't
good.
expect. I wasn't sure what to expect, and I think maybe it's because I got the nostalgia for how TV shows are shot back then. But even like, just all of the scenes and all the way you guys like acted, everything was like quite quite subtle and small and kind of low key, and I really enjoyed that. Even though the show's kind of got a lot of stress and anxiety to it, I guess on purpose, at the same time, all your relationships were everything was just quite chill. And I liked it. It's very easy to watch, even like 25 years later. And all the acting's really nice and really good. And I'm like, I like all these people.
Oh, good. I wrote in one of my notes, oh, and no joke, it says, Maria, my character, so obnoxious, zero chill. I thought she had no chill. So this is nice to hear that it's not too much.
Well, she's definitely a little highly strung.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but what I mean is though, but your performances aren't. As in, sometimes you watch stuff, and because everyone's like stressed, or the characters are stressed, or they're just putting it so much importance and gravitas every single thing they're doing, it's not enjoyable to watch. And there was something, I guess, whereby it's easy to watch because your performances are easy, as in a good way. But if you're trying too hard, it all feels very natural and very simple. Even though like you're half your aliens, which is weird.
Right.
I still didn't understand what was going on with the first episode. I did have to Wikipedia and be like, wait, what the fuck is happening? And now I know all about the show because I read it. But for the first episode, I was like, I don't fully understand if this is the sixth sense or what skill he has or whether he's an alien. I don't really know what's going on. I'm also like, are they trying to find aliens? And I actually thought Roswell was like a detective show, to be honest, before I watched it. But I really enjoyed it.
I think that's what makes a great show is me and Max are best friends on the show. He gets to go to a different family. I go to another one, whatever else. But I'm jealous of him for being able to heal because all I do is destroy. I'm the first alien to have killed someone. I can't control my powers. He can heal these kids. I can't.
Right.
And so what I always loved was that kind of dichotomy between me and the guy, me and my best friend, brother, alien, whatever our relationship is on that front. And it allows for that vulnerability that Michael doesn't have. I have so many of those moments with Majandra because she's my girlfriend in the show.
But she's not an alien. She's just a waitress, right?
Yep.
Not just a waitress.
How dare Majandra attack?
In this economy, how dare. No, she is. She's a waitress, human. She's a human waitress.
But she doesn't have any like she's not an alien. That's
not at all. No.
She's just a regular person. Gotcha.
She's a regular person. She dates him. She kind of gets stuck in the whole thing. But we were shocked with how she suddenly was ready to marry that man. That
was odd. Yeah.
I was like, what's happening? It was so jarring. And she's crying about it. That was tough.
Well, that scene could have been cut because that scene didn't make any sense because isn't she sort of dating Michael?
Yes.
So why did she want to? Also, I thought the guy was like homeless because they were chatting in an alley. Then all of a sudden he's got a kid, and I was like, why does she want to marry this guy that she doesn't really have anything to do with? I didn't understand that part.
He's the owner-operator of the UFO museum, the local UFO museum, as we all have.
Gotcha.
And so they have some sort of weird relationship. I was shocked by that. But yes, I wish it would have been cut.
Yeah, why? But yeah, why did she want to marry him? Like, what was the thought
kid.
process?
It's her empathy for the kid in terms of all of a sudden she develops this motherly thing, I guess. And you hate your kids. We've already established that.
I hate them.
You have kids?
Do I? I don't identify as a mother. Where are they now?
I want to go back to this. So, but why? Like, how did you not sit down with anybody making your show and be like, why does she decide, and also, by the way, apparently at 17, to get married to this guy and become a mother? But at the same time, I was like, oh, then she must, because the aliens seem to have some empathy towards saving the kids and the hospitals. So I was like, oh, she must be an alien then.
I know, by the way. Yeah, I think it's that Michael, Brendan's character, was like it was historically and famously not a great boyfriend. So she was sort of always finding ways to get out, if you will. And she did have some sort of previous relationship with Brody, the not homeless man who ran the UFO center. And it just was very forced. It did not seem organic whatsoever. And that was a perfect example of them just trying to like force a thing. But yeah, I guess she just had like some sort of nightingale tendencies and wanted to save him and his child. And so she's like, I will sacrifice myself and my life and marry this man to take care of his daughter with cancer.
I'm
So mixed, yeah. I mean, fair play to her for having all these really important relationships by the age of 17.
Yeah. I was like, wow, this is tough.
But I was impressed by like your memories of what happened back then, because I had like zero memory for most things. And my long-term memory is like shot to hell. So the fact you guys are able to remember stuff from like 25 years ago when you shot this, I thought was actually very impressive.
It was, what a time.
I forgot something else to do for you guys, but I will be back in like literally like 1 second.
Oh.
Just you know, it was taking too long, and I failed miserably. And see, if I had my hungover, I put it somewhere. I had my Baron and Toluca sweater. I was going to go put it on right now because I forgot about it, because I wanted to mention Baron and Toluca, because when Majandra's talking about Majandra, I really liked that show. I thought what you guys did with Baron and Toluca was great.
Thank you. We're still trying, Owen. We're still trying.
Well, you made a great show. Well, I would have been more invested if you'd asked me to like help.
That's sad.
I have my daughter. Guys, turns out I have a daughter. Just realizing it.
Good for you.
She's 12.
Yeah. All right. We're out.
No, but I'm so sorry. I have to leave. I have a mother-daughter commitment.
Welcome to parenthood, Owen. All right.
I love
go.
you all.
Get out.
That's an LUV.
It's an LUV.
Lovely
Owen,
to
I
meet
love you to death.
Lovely to meet you. Pleasure.
So, what did you think of my good pal Owen?
Just lovely.
I mean, listen. Not only did he watch the episode, he listened to the podcast.
Yeah.
It's more than
we've done.
More.
That's for sure.
It truly is, like we've said over and over, it is Christmas episodes, any holiday episode. I'm going to go out on a thing here. The bear. They're going to be like, what does this have to do with the bear? But the
Ladies
bear,
and gentlemen, you are now witnessing the distiller in action. Go ahead.
was that a Thanksgiving or Christmas episode? It was a Christmas episode, wasn't it?
The bear?
Yeah.
The bear
Where
Christmas
Jamie Lee
episode?
Curtis is introduced as the mom.
The 4 fishes? The 9 fishes?
Yes, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way to do a holiday episode. But these network television, old school, maybe things have changed, but I don't think so too much, where you do a Christmas, Thanksgiving, Easter episode. I think Christmas is a really big one. You could go Halloween, but that's a little dicey.
Mm-hmm.
They're fucking awful. And this was the opposite of that. This was great. I understand that I went with like maybe the elves are Irish and leprechauns. Disclaimer. I have an Irish friend. He's just such a different person in my life than anyone else, where I don't like like my golfing buddies are an entirely different breed of fucking people, but he's just an entirely different kind of character that always thinking a little, creatively. He's one of my artist friends, and I don't have a lot of those. You're one, right? Like we create shit together, like this shit,
Mm-hmm.
and then he's another guy. So, which I didn't ever, which we've talked about before, and we'll continue to. I called them theater geeks, and was never going to do this for a long time, and who knew I would value those people so much,
Right?
the
Art
people I
saves
bullied. Art saves lives. Art is life. Isn't it? Water is life. It is.
I feel like there's a lot of is life.
What else is life?
Oxygen. proper breathing.
I don't want to. Let's not do this. Let's not do this.
No, let's not fight. We're not fighting. But yeah, that was fun. And it's always tough when
what's
a
tough for
person,
you?
because look, do we have like very much like a sibling? I'm like the mean sister. Yes. But much like with siblings, you're like, I can talk shit about my brother, but you cannot. And not that he was talking shit about you, but it made me uncomfortable when him and I would like align with how we perceive you, like similarly. I was like, no.
But I'm going to go
I
along
just
with
see
it
your little
anyways.
face there on the little screen. Was like, oh, let's not be mean to him. So that was interesting because that rarely happens.
Yeah, I don't have friends that just, what's the term I'm going to use? What was I going to say, do you think?
Love you? No, but for real, what were you going to say? You don't have
Yeah,
friends that...
it's funny. I think I've generally aligned myself with people later on, the older I get, where do they love me? Yes. Will they have my back? 100%. Will they take a hit for me? Yes. But they're not just yes people. You know what I mean? Like they're gonna tell me like when I fucked up. They're gonna tell me when something wasn't cool. They're gonna be honest with their opinions and all that stuff. And that includes that's across the board of like my groups of friends, like golfing buddies to actor friends to whatever else. Those are the people that I really value because I don't want to live in an echo chamber. And I just find that, I mean, you're the worst at it. You'll tell me everything that's wrong with me.
And yet you call me an enabler. You're like, oh, of course you have love eyes. You think it's fine. And I'm like, no, wish you could see what I see. See through my eyes. Yeah, I mean, of course, I think that's key, but it's also key to have people that, I don't know, like go easy on a brother, not coddling you, but just not attributing maliciousness to things that are just like, oh, he forgot or whatever, you know.
Well, no
and
one
I feel
wants
like
that.
I know, but people do that. Oh my gosh.
And you feel like he did
remember?
that? You
No,
feel like
that's
he
what
did
was
that?
great. He didn't. He was
Oh,
very,
fuck no.
yeah, he was very frank and understands you, but also like has the leniency that should be there. And because
he also
understands you.
gets like he's one of the guys that gets a pass to talk shit about me, right? Like you have your girls who can talk shit about you, right? And then someone else can say the same thing, but if they're not like in the group, if they're not one of those, it's just like,
you're just repeating what I said before about being a sibling. But yes, you give him the pass. And you know what? What a great person to give it to because he doesn't take advantage of it. That's why he gets the pass because he's not using that power to hurt you in any way. And that's important. It is.
It is. This seems a little, yeah.
It is. Like to have the vulnerability of that.
But you just
him,
went like, and that's
sweet.
important not to use that. And like something was going through your head. Like it was like a memory where you're like, and I remember that thing.
No, not at all.
Oh.
I just felt I'd made my point. You know, why use extra words? But yeah.
I'll tell you why.
Oh, boy. Please do.
No. We need no more extra words. Do we need any more words? It was a pleasure.
I need more than words, you know?
More than words is all I ever do to make you feel that you couldn't let me.
Okay, we can't afford this. You've gone on for too many bars.
Oh, is that too? Oh, I don't think that's going to register with Eddie.
They're like, we're good. You sing the whole song. They're like,
that's a
okay.
whole different song.
You can
bro.
have it.
Do you know the words to that song?
Saying I love you is not the words I want to hear from you. It's not that I want to not to say, but if you only knew how easy it would be to show me how you feel. Oh, I'm realizing what this song is about.
You just blew her own mind.
Is all we ever need to make it real. Oh my
I've
God, this
I've
guy's
lost her.
pervy.
I've lost her. Oh, he's pervy.
Yeah, he's like, more than words is what all we need to make it real. Then you wouldn't have to. Then you wouldn't have to say that you love me. Because listen, you don't have to say you love me because I'll already know because you suck my dick. That's what he's saying.
That's what we're all saying.
That's true.
Spoke.
I'm so glad someone said it.
Spoke. Dude, guy.
While doing
spit
some
real
percussion on your
bars.
guitar.
Is that how you? All right. Well, that was a lot of fucking fun. I guess until next time.
Still looking for that way out, that tagline.
Go fuck yourself.
I like that. On that note.
On all the wrong notes, we're out of here. Just leave. You leave first.
This is how I'm going to leave. Remember in the song, he hits the guitar. Okay, bye. The X-Files with Majandra Delfino
and Brendan Fehr is a production of Portholes Inc. Media.
Edited and mixed by Stephen Wells.
The music by Fred Corey.